Hello everyone, this is Evan from Evan Drinking Tablet. In my last video I shared with you guys my top 5 least favorite YouTube videos of the year. Today I'm doing the opposite. These are my top 5 favorite YouTube videos of the year. I know a lot of people have claimed that YouTube content sucks now, and they always just base it based on what the homepage says, what the algorithm says. It's important to acknowledge that incredible YouTube videos come out all the time. You just gotta find them. And these are my personal top 5 favorites of the year. Feel free to comment below what your top 5 favorite YouTube videos of the year so far have been. In the description, I will have time codes so you can jump around in this video. I will have the links to the 5 videos. And I will also have a link to a full playlist of every YouTube video that has come out this year that I have seen, ranked from best to worst. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. At number 5, we have my personal favorite video by the YouTuber RNM. She's been doing YouTube for like half a year now, and she's very new to the website, but she's off to an incredible start as a YouTuber with a lot of bangers. And this is my personal favorite of hers. It's called Hope, Loneliness, and Time Loops. A very beautiful video essay about the games Outer Wilds and In Stars and Time. I've only played Outer Wilds, I haven't played In Stars and Time, but this was a very good video essay, insanely good, about like the time loops in each game and how one of the games is about the outer like state of other people adjusting to the time loop, and the other game is about the character adjusting to the time loop. She compares the games by looking at the vice versa, basically how the main character in Outer Wilds must feel, and how the external world of In Stars and Time must feel. It's a very clever premise for a video essay that eventually culminates in this incredibly beautiful yet somber storytelling segment that I'm not going to spoil too much about, but I love the pixelated visuals. I love the imagery of...
At one point, you passed by one...
like the constant switching of the background and the main character's head between frames, and yet the foreground of these two trees are exactly the same. Very clever setting aspect. Like, the ending of the story is a lot more somber than you'd expect by the end of it. I won't spoil what happens. And the ending itself is also very beautifully written, with Arnhem seemingly telling the viewer verbatim an alternate way to get used to a situation that would otherwise be sad. And while it does seem on the surface level like an in-your-face moral, it actually has a lot of clever background to it if you think about it, of how it can apply to real life. That's a very genius aspect. The editing is also incredible. You see,
you hear
the images of each story time in this video jitter. You also see beautiful details, like how detailed the friend characters of the main character are in the story. Like how there's a ladybug and a cat and a cloak person. Beautiful stuff. I love the posing of the cloak person in this scene. How his legs are posed. This is my absolute favorite visual of the entire video that appears throughout. It's basically glasses that represent each game. Our name calls it an eyeglass. Beautiful. I love the pixelation, line art of the glasses. There's some other great editing choices with the sound design. Like how when Arnhem says the wilds and the stars, a pixelated star pops out and like gas emits from it. Same with a tree to represent the wilds. And like there's a sound effect that happens in the background. Love that aspect. The footage of the games are very carefully shown. There's some great audio. Nice little background music. The background music isn't like anything insanely memorable, but it is well done. Very good stuff. I love this video essay, and I would highly recommend it. At number 4, we have probably the most biased entry on this entire list for me, StudioBinder's Why Wide Shots Feel So Cinematic. I've seen quite a few StudioBinder videos, and I love a lot of them, but this is easily the best one. Mainly due to the editing, especially the background score of adapted music, and the actual guides to cinematography. The reason I'm so biased towards this video is because, to put it quite simply, I'm a huge cinematography nerd. It's easily my favorite aspect of filmmaking. And what this video teaches about cinematography and analyzes about the films that use it is so fascinating to me, and it's so well analyzed and so well taught. I love the editing of this shot where like arrows are used to describe the sparseness of a clip in Good Will Hunting. I haven't seen that film, but this video explains what is happening in this shot very well and why. There's some great use of editing to like highlight certain things that the video wants you to know, whether that be the arrows in that frame from earlier, or like the shading of everything around these cereal boxes and whatever film that was. I think this video definitely peaks with the background score, especially near the end when we transition from the Punch Drunk Love music to like another score that I actually got inspired and used in the background of a previous video of mine. That was a beautiful transition between songs edited into the video. I loved that so much. I love the actual choices of frames being used and how it's basically always relevant to what the video wants to teach you in that scene. Just a beautiful video essay, a beautiful tutorial, whatever else you want to call it. Just an amazing guide that also works as like a beautiful video to watch. I love this. I'm definitely biased towards this one, more so than every other entry on the list, because cinematography is my favorite aspect of filmmaking, but the actual editing here is also absolute peak. So, number 3, we have Why Does Everyone Think 1984 Agrees With Them by the YouTube channel Jacob Geller, one of my favorite YouTubers of all time. And spoilers, this won't be his only video on the list. You probably already know that from the thumbnail, but man, this video is absolutely incredible. Probably my favorite researched YouTube video of the entire year. It also might be the most morally thought-provoking video of the year so far. It is a very smart video essay on how politicians throughout the history since 1984 has been published has used the book to basically aid what they have already been saying, and how that is kind of a misunderstanding of what the book is even trying to say itself. I'm not going to spoil too many places this video essay goes, but I will say Jacob Geller actually criticizes Orwell's thought process of being in the past in his own head in a way that actually pays off. So rightfully praising Orwell for being smart enough to write 1984 in the first place. I don't want to spoil too much about what I'm talking about. I would really want people to watch this video for themselves. It's amazing. A very heavy video at times. It's not going to be for everyone. But unlike the other Jacob Geller video on this list, which is just incredibly heavy, albeit a masterpiece, this video is actually comedic at times, and the comedy actually pays off. I'm not normally a big fan of videos that take themselves seriously, but also have comedy in them. That usually doesn't work for me, but the comedic levity here is actually legitimately hilarious, and very well delivered, both in terms of Jacob's deadpan delivery at times, and in terms of the background music editing, with one of the opening jokes being about a reference to a cyberpunk version of the Gary Varvel meme that is a big part of this video, and that joke is actually really well delivered because of Jacob's deadpan delivery combined with the brief cyberpunk background music. It actually made me laugh. There's some other really good jokes in here, mainly that work because of Jacob's delivery, but of course the overall video, based on being about George Orwell's life and about 1984, is a very heavy one. I love how every single time Jacob Geller quotes 1984, which is only twice in the entire video actually, the screen slowly desaturates. It is a beautiful detail that really goes to show how dark the subject matter of that book is. I absolutely adore a lot of the background music choices. Mainly the last background music choice is really interesting to listen to. And I think my favorite editing choice in the entire video is when Jacob Geller says that George Orwell was shot in the neck by fascists. The sudden zoom in of him, combined with like the background score piano, like suddenly stilting, beautifully done editing choice of a combination to basically clearly imply of how heavy of a thing that was. This is a beautiful video essay. It's incredibly well thought out, phenomenally researched. It is so brave and risky, and it pays off, and it is easily one of the best YouTube videos of the entire year. At number 2, I have a CalArts film by Nicargo called To All the Little Things. It is the first 10 out of 10 on this list. I rarely ever give out that score, but this is a masterpiece. It is a visual masterpiece. It is mainly an audio masterpiece, with my favorite original score of any YouTube video this entire year, without a doubt. Probably my favorite student film ever made since Fueled back in 2021. Genuinely beautiful, beautiful stuff. Probably the most beautiful YouTube video of the entire year so far. Some of the imagery here is genuinely stunning. This shot is phenomenally lit with beautiful use of line art. There's like leaves that are like curved lines. There's some genuinely beautiful use of comic book dots in some frames, like Spider-Verse-esque. I love so much of what this does. It is a beautiful visual fucking marvel. And I love like the pointiness of the line art of stuff like fire and leaves. I love how this short film, despite how genuinely stunning and like beautiful it looks, isn't afraid to express how genuinely gruesome nature can be. Like the food chain. Like there's actual blood shown. I love the short film. It is genuinely phenomenal. There's some incredible imagery here. Incredible use of editing in terms of like transitioning between legs. Like the legs of this creature that then transition to the legs of that creature. So some great editing too. There's some great transition shots between scenes. It's not really like a cohesive story in the typical sense. This is very much a silent story about like a series of dinosaurs, and then like the meteor hits. And yet despite the meteor hitting, I guess I'll get into the story part of it. This is less so about a tragedy that was the dinosaurs dying, and this is definitely more so about celebrating the life of the humans that came after the dinosaurs. There's a beautiful ending shot that implies that. But also the score, just even during the like the dinosaur extinction scene, is a kind of uplifting. Sounds very uplifting, although maybe that is just because of how unconventional it is. It's probably my favorite score I've heard in a long time. It is a genuinely beautiful soundtrack. Score kind of gives me the vibes of One Battle After Another, not because it's even remotely similar, but because it's unconventional due to being more so sounds as a series being cohesively used beautifully, as opposed to a typical score. So that's kind of why it reminds me of that film. It is beautifully bouncy and energetic, yet majestically, enchantingly beautiful at the same time. I love the soundtrack here. I love the instruments used in the soundtrack. It is probably it's just a phenomenal soundtrack. If the soundtrack was available by itself, I would probably listen to it all the fucking time. It's so beautiful. I often do just listen to the watch this video to listen to the soundtrack, although it's not quite the same experience because the video itself has some really good sound design that kind of aids a lot of what happens, so that's great. But I just really wish the soundtrack by itself was available, because it is one of my favorite soundtracks for a YouTube video I've heard in a long fucking time. It's genuinely beautiful. So yeah, this is a masterpiece. I don't give out 10 out of 10s that often. I'm not going to spoil the ending or too much of what happens, but there's some beautiful imagery that kind of comes back around after the beginning. I love the editing between the Earth and then the cell organism that at first is in the same place as the Earth. It is so fucking beautifully done. I love this. And at number 1, we have Jacob Geller's The Future is an Empty Room. When I reviewed this back in January of 2026, I think I might have underestimated exactly how phenomenal it is, despite how positive my review was. This video is an actual, like, achievement. Like, it's actually such an artistic achievement. And although the Jacob Geller Outer Wilds video might still be my favorite video of his, this might be his best work I've seen, objectively ever maybe. This video is a piece of scripting and editing and, to a lesser extent admittedly, audible perfection. This video is, it also has incredible cinematography. I don't even know where to begin breaking this down, because since I first watched that video in January of this year and gave it a 9 out of 10 at the time, it is shot up to like a huge solid 10 out of 10. It is easily a masterpiece. It's easily the best video we're probably going to get all year. It would be kind of bittersweet if it doesn't get surpassed, since it's only January when it came out, but we'll see what happens, I guess. Man, this video is a genuine work of art. It is actually so geniusly put together. And the script is probably the best aspect. You will continue to, every time you rewatch this video, there's new things for you to appreciate, mainly in terms of the writing, and how there's a segment near the end about Bo Burnham's inside that recontextualizes the entire video and what it says in a way that feels less like a fake out and more like an incredibly clever thing. I'm not going to spoil too much, because I really just want people to watch this video for themselves, but the pure cinematography, despite how simple it is, of Jacob Geller in front of this light, and some of the editing and zoom out at the end that comes out of that, is actually some of the most memorable cinematography of the year for me. It will forever be etched into my brain because it's such memorable imagery, and it aids the video perfectly. The editing and how every piece of footage shown is not just relevant to what he's talking about, but purposely either wide but empty or a zoom in. That is also genius to me. It really goes to show that everything here was thought out and planned for this video so carefully that even the footage shown was meant to aid not just what happens in terms of the scripts, but in terms of cinematography too. I love this video so much. It's actually like a masterpiece. It's pure art. This video, to all the little things, is honestly almost as good as this. Either one of them could have been my number 1. But I think this video still stands as my favorite video of the year, just about. Especially the genuinely chilling ending. This video is not going to be for everyone. I just want to say it because it is depressing. It is a heavy video. but man, if it isn't objectively flawless. Like, this is a masterpiece, and I absolutely adore it to pieces. It is genuinely such an incredible video to analyze and to continue to rewatch and just adore. I might talk about it in another video. I might do like another far more in-depth reaction to it, which like gonna be really heavy with spoilers, because I have to just break this down and praise it and just talk about why I genuinely consider this to be, it's one of the best videos I've seen in a long time, like probably in the past few years. Yeah, those are my top 5 favorite YouTube videos we've had so far this year. Again, please comment showing your own if you want to. I really just want to get a bit more popular so I can actually give attention to these videos through a platform in the first place, to show that YouTube videos are a legit art form. So yeah, that's it. Bye.